Public speaking. Public speaking. I am here to help you simplify public speaking. Who am I? Ramona J. Smith, world champion of public speaking. Ask about me, right? Ask about me. Visit my website, ramonajsmith.com. Email me, contact ramonajsmith@gmail.com, and definitely follow me on Instagram at ramonajsmith1. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button to join the community, join the family. Hit the notification bell so that you know as soon as I post another video. Like, comment, and share. If you feel like this content is relevant to you, your coworkers, your friends, your family members, and anybody who may be struggling with public speaking in general or an upcoming presentation. Today, I want to give you 3 tips to help tell your story. 3 storytelling tips. In public speaking, there are going to be so many stories being shared and so many stories being told, but it's how you tell the story. It's how you take the audience on this journey and keep them engaged and make them want to listen to you. Nobody wants to hear a boring or dull story, and nobody wants to have to follow a story here and there and all around the mulberry bush. We want you to give the story, keep it organized, and keep it interesting so that we stay awake. Right? There's nothing worse than a boring speech where you are literally falling asleep. Or there's nothing like hearing somebody's story and they're not getting to the point, or you get lost and then your mind starts to wander and it's just like, okay, you know what? No, just stop. So I have three easy ways. I'm sorry, I'm just checking my notes to make sure I get it right. Tell your story using these 3 simple tips. There it is. Tell your story using these 3 simple steps. Steps. They could be tips. They could be steps. They could be stairs. However you want to take it. Take it however you want to take it, right? So tell your story with these 3 simple tips. So I forget the person who shared this information with me, but I know he was a YouTuber. If I find him, I'll put him in the description below. But I loved his format and his structure because it was, we like to keep it simple here. It was so simple. It was not overly complicated. He was not analyzing. He was not making you be extremely detailed. It was bada bing, bada boom, bada bung, right? So I gotta stop saying right so much, y'all. Somebody count how many rights I'm saying and put it in the comments below. I say right too much. That's a filler word. I have to get rid of that. That's not okay as a public speaker, especially a world champion public speaker. Hello, somebody. The first step is to start with the norm. The second step is to give us the climax, give us the big bada boom, give us what happened to change the narrative, and then give us the new normal. If you're looking for a simple and easy way to tell your story during a speech, give us the normal, give us the big bada boom that shook things up, and then give us the new normal. I'll use myself for an example. I have been speaking for years. I know many people may not have heard of me until 2018, but I have been speaking for so many years. I started my company in 2011. Prior to 2018, I was speaking here and there, doing a lot of free speaking, just trying to get my foot in the door, hustling, trying my best, speaking at churches, doing a lot of poetry because I can do a 2 to 3 minute poem and people are entertained and yay, that was wonderful. Now keep it moving. Let's let the real speaker come up. So people gave me a small amount of stage time before I was well known and before I had established myself as a professional speaker. When I was on the up and up, people would just kind of give me a little bit of time and then say, okay, all right. Or people would say, here, take $100 for this keynote, or we'll pay you $300. Now, that was then. Then in 2018, I participated in the Toastmasters International Speech Contest. About 30,000 plus people compete every single year. In 2018, I competed. I continued to ascend through the levels, and Thankfully, I won the International Speech Contest in 2018 and got the title World Champion of Public Speaking. So my normal was I'm the speaker on the grind, I'm a speaker on the rise. I am just hustling. I'm taking any speaking engagement I can get. I'm doing a lot of poetry, a lot of open mics, a lot of poems to introduce people, a lot of introductions for other speakers because I just couldn't quite land the big keynote addresses that I wanted to because I was still unknown. And I'm just on the grind. I'm hustling, I'm struggling, but I'm not stopping and I'm not giving up. And I'm just taking it one speech at a time, one second, 1 minute on stage at a time. I'm doing this for years. I'm doing this for 7, 8, 9 years. And I finally participate in this speech contest. So this is the big bada boom. I finally participated in this speech contest and I win. And I won an international speech contest. So it wasn't just something in my city. It wasn't just something in my state. It wasn't just something in my country. It was something that was exposed to hundreds of countries throughout the planet, throughout the globe. And once that happened, my life changed. It changed tremendously. I went from being a teacher in Houston to now becoming this overnight sensation, global sensation of a speaker. At that point, my email was flooded with invitations to speak all over the world. I was flooded with media outlets wanting to interview me. I started to travel a lot and be away from home a lot. I had to spend less time with my son and spend more time speaking. I was getting booked back to back to back to back. I was basically living in the airports because I was flying out 2 and 3 times a week. My life changed significantly. And so that became my new normal. So the normal, average Joe speaker trying to grind and hustle and make my way to the top, bada boom, bada bing. You win this international speech contest. It changes your life forever. Now, I am a well-known, well-sought-after professional speaker, and I am continuing to scale up my business, and I never have to do a 2 to 3 minute introductory poem for another speaker ever again unless I choose to. Now, people are asking me to speak instead of me asking and begging and pleading to get some stage time. So that is such an easy way to be able to tell your story. You start with how things were. What was going on from day to day? This is my life. This is what happens. And then boom, what happened? It doesn't necessarily have to be something bad or something horrible. It could just be a shift or a change or a transformation or an aha moment. And then what happens after you hit that realization, or how do you grow, or how do you change after this big climax thing happens? What's the new normal? So let's simplify it. Normal, climax, new normal. Let's give another example. Before becoming a parent. I used to hang out. I used to go out. I used to have fun. I used to stay out. I used to just have fun, be a teenager, be in my early 20s, just having fun, just not caring about what, I don't have a curfew, come home when I feel like it. I remember one time I was working at a club in Cleveland, Ohio. I was a bartender, and that was actually a fun job. I was a bartender, and one time after the club shut down, all of us went to IHOP. And I remember we just stayed at IHOP all night long. When we left IHOP, literally the sun was coming up. That is the lifestyle of a person with no children. That was my lifestyle at the time. Just kicking it, just hanging out, just having a good time, enjoying myself. Bada bing, bada boom. I find out I'm going to become a parent, and I shifted my whole mindset. I don't want to hang out anymore. 1, because I can't indulge in alcoholic beverages anymore. 2, because I am in a committed, dedicated relationship. And 3, because I really want to focus my energy on connecting with this person who is growing inside of me. Right? So bada bing, bada boom, we conceive, I become pregnant. And then June 6th, 2012, this beautiful baby boy comes into the world, and he's keeping me up all night. I'm not hanging out at IHOP until the break of dawn. I'm changing diapers. I am nursing. I am mending to my crying child. I am nurturing him. I am getting snacks packed for the next day. I'm packing diaper bags. I'm doing all these things that are completely different from what I was doing before this big bada boom moment happened. So just think about some things in your life that started off in a normal state. Things are fine. Things are great. This is my everyday grind. And then boom, something happens to change all of that. It could be a mindset shift. It could be a book that you read. It could be meeting the love of your life. And then what happens after that? Now, what's the new normal? If you go from single to married, take us on that journey. If you go from being this awesome, fun, outgoing, extroverted person, and then you have a child, and then your life changes, how does your life change after that? If you go from school isn't for me to now you're in college and now you're about to graduate, or you've graduated, like, take us on that journey. It could be anything that disrupts the norm. It could be something positive. It could be something negative. It could be something happy. It could be something sad. It could be birthing life. It could be experiencing death. And I'll give you this last example and then I'll let you go. But being able to visit my dad, being able to go see my dad, and anytime I drive past his house, I could just stop by. If I knew he wasn't at work, just drive past his building, stop by, go up there, talk with him, sing, dance, eat, because he loved to cook and things like that. And then he started to get sick because he had a liver cancer. And then seeing him through that process with chemo and treatments, and just kind of seeing him battle with that, and then his passing. So now I don't get to see him anymore. And going past his building just doesn't feel the same, because I can stop, but he's not going to be there. And just learning to live life without a parent, like, it's very challenging. It's very tough. And you just have to learn how to cope and how to navigate through that. But I know that he felt a lot of love for my child. And so that's why I'm glad that I named my child Ryan Romaine, because Romaine was my father's first name. So he does have that legacy because he didn't have any sons. But you kind of see the Romaine Ramona. You see the thing my mom, she tried to do it. She tried it. But even something like that, it doesn't have to be sad, even though it's dealing with death. It doesn't have to be sad, because we never want to leave the audience sad. We always want to keep the audience, we want to bring them down, but then we want to bring them back up. So if I talk about the death of my father and the passing away from my father, I'm not going to just leave it there. And my dad passed away, and that was that. Thank you. Back to you. Like, no. I'm going to say, yes, my dad passed away. Yes, it was hard. Yes, it was difficult. Yes, I still dream about him and think about him and miss his presence. But I was able to keep him alive through my son. My son has his eyes. I can call out his name, and this little living being, this little energetic ball of beautiful, my son, he is the legacy of my father, right? So anywho, I'm getting all emotional, but yeah, I miss you, Dad. But yes, so when storytelling, let's keep it simple here. We'll start here. This is just basic, bare minimum, foundational stuff. Give us the normal, give us the big bada boom, the life change, the transformation, the mindset shift, and then talk about what's new now, the new normal. What do you do now? What is life like now that you've experienced this big shift? I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and drop them down below. You can always contact me on Instagram at Ramona J. Smith 1. Go ahead and email me, contact ramonajsmith@gmail.com. Let's stay in touch. If you haven't watched my previous videos, go ahead and give those a view or two. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in the next one.